morning, everyone. This is Jill Raven Stevenson of Juniper Sage, and today we're going to continue on. Here we are in week 9. We're going to continue on with working with sacred space, and that same type of technique we worked with in week 8, which is that giving and that receiving. And we're going to work. Yesterday we worked with a space within our home. And I'm probably going to cough a little bit, you guys, because we went into a frenzy of cleaning our home after I did the recording. I just got all inspired. I cleaned out my studio, cleaned out my house. We just had a rain the night before, so I think it was all this freshness. It's the new moon energy. I was getting ready for some kind of uplifting energy. And, sorry. So I think I kicked up a bunch of dust because I'm coughing a bit since yesterday. So excuse me ahead of time. I'm probably going to cough as I talk here. So I apologize. Hopefully it won't be too disruptive. So today what we're going to do is we're going to continue with that energy of space, and we're going to look at the spaces in our life. Like our career space, our health space, our relationship space, our ancestry space, our future space, our growth space, our heart space, our soul space, our inner child space. So we have all these spaces within us, right? And we're going to look at it from a bird's eye view so that we're up high and that these spaces are sitting in a circle and the circle's divided into pies. And each pie is going to hold an energy. Now, we don't have to name all of the energies for us to experience this. So what's going to happen is we're going to have this kind of meditative visual journey. And we're going to settle in from the bird's eye view. We're going to narrow into a place that our soul wants to bring our awareness to, or our hearts. So they're kind of interconnected. And we'll settle into that part of the pie. And then we'll have a very similar experience as we did yesterday. So we're kind of weaving in week 8 that beautiful art of receiving, that exchange of giving and receiving, and the alchemy within that. So yesterday we got such beautiful energy around potential, and we will and how that potential settled into a space within our house and informed and got us to reflect into that space. So a very similar journey today. All right, so let's go ahead. So sometimes people like to get a notebook out and kind of take notes as the journey goes along. So if that is something that is beneficial to you, make sure you pause the video and jump into that. So here we go. Or jump to go get that. All right, so let's again use that energy of our breath. And I'm going to use, I think it was in week 2 maybe, where I started to kind of show you this visual that happens for me, like this beautiful white feather that comes down and kind of helps me settle in. So we're going to use the same type of energy or visual today to kind of settle our energies and kind of release a little bit of the stress that we might be carrying. For some reason, I'm carrying a lot of stress right now. I think I have a lot of, iron in the fires going right now. So, all right. All right, so just taking 3 beautiful breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Yesterday we used that stone to help ground us. So today we're going to use the gift of air to help us kind of ground. So just imagine that you have this energy up here, this beautiful feather, and it's gently kind of moving back and forth like this, and touching your crown, and touching your third eye, your throat, just kind of landing in your heart for a moment. And bringing all of your energy inward. Just kind of feel that drift down all the way through the rest of your central channel, that kind of our spine, and land at your feet. This morning, just out of awareness, see if it lands at your feet, and your feet are in the prairie, or in the woods, or in your home, or near a river, near an ocean, on the beach. Just kind of let your feet show you, what part of Earth is going to support our experience today. So for me, it's this beautiful river. And then just kind of feel, what do you need right now? Do you need to let go of anything? Do you need to open to anything? Just have a internal moment. And that beautiful feather that has landed at your feet, as if it's like a portal, and it opens up, and as if you are now looking down at this beautiful circle that's lit up in certain colors. So mine is like in this blue light. It has this beautiful gold circle around it. This beautiful daisy in the middle of it. Just kind of showing you the portal to open up, to really look at the spaces in your life. Looks like I have a little unicorn there. So just letting that gift of your inner child to help really see this space that is your life. And as you're kind of feeling that, looking down and seeing this circle that's holding the spaces of your life, just kind of feel if there's an area in the circle that catches your attention. And in that catching of your attention, letting yourself feel as if you're going to land into that space, as if you're going to now, not instead of looking down at it, you're going to settle into that space. It's like you're landing into that space, or you're jumping into that space, or you're kind of just descending into that space. Whatever kind of motion feels good to you. And just kind of notice that you're in this space, this certain space within the circle of your life. For me, I'm noticing I'm straddling two different spaces. And then I'm just going to kind of settle into, listening to this space. What is held in this space? So for me, it's my desires and my relationship. So I'm straddling, so some of us might be straddling on two different spaces. And I realize it's like this harmonizing moment. So I'm harmonizing something, right? So if you're in one space, is it a balancing? Is it a harmonizing? Is it an activation? Is it a attending to? So really just kind of feel what that is for you. Okay, we're really using the art of visualization and our senses and letting our inner child kind of help craft this beautiful vision that our soul is also communicating to us. So to me, it's this harmonizing my desires and my relationships. And then just watch natural questions come up. Like, what are some natural questions about this space that are coming to you? These natural questions are all about gathering information. So for me, it's like, well, what kind of relationships do I want, right? So at this point in time, when I'm looking at the space of my life, I'm going to be concentrating on, what kind of relationships do I desire in my life? So there's a renewal energy happening for me. I have had a lot of completions happening. Completions with work, completions with certain things I have been teaching. So it makes sense for me that this is what's coming up. So watch how all of this is always connected to what's actually going in our life. It's this continual thread, right, of connecting with our own internal space. And then as you're kind of listening to that space, we're listening kind of for the remedy next, right? So if you're activating, maybe it's activating a feeling inside of you, and that feeling is bringing you into an action or an idea or an inspiration. If it's a healing that's happening, the remedy might be an affirmation or an awareness, right? If it's a rebalancing that's happening in your space, it might be doing more of and less of, right? A letting go and an allowing. So just allowing that space to continue to give you the information. So for me, I'm seeing these magenta flowers and I'm hearing the gift of friendship. And I'm hearing, I know I have a huge heart in knowing the gratitude for my friendships, but I never allow myself to feel being received by friendship, right? So now we're going to kind of look at that. So that's me rebalancing the giving and receiving and kind of harmonizing desire and connection and friendship. And allowing myself to feel the energy of friendship. So this is what's coming forward, right, as an offering. And I'm going to have a moment that's slowing down and let myself feel received by friendship, right? So let's just take what maybe you might be experiencing. So what's emerged, what's kind of the key nugget as you're sitting in this space, and what's kind of the remedy, right? Bringing things into harmony or balance or activating something new for your life. And then how can you receive that remedy, right? So how are you receiving it? So I'm going to kind of go over to me. So here I am receiving this friendship, the energy of friendship. And I can feel a little bit of energy in my throat, like, oh. So I'm actually receiving it if I'm using my body. So now we're going to go back into using our body, receiving it in my solar plex. So where are you receiving this remedy? And it can It can be maybe on the outside of our auric field, or it's just, in our heart space or in our mental fields. So wherever it's being received is perfect in our physical body. So for me, it's a little bit more physical and emotional. So I can really feel it in my body. And then as I'm receiving that, right, what's the alchemy of it, right? And to me, there's a release of energy, the release of the idea of rejection, or the release of the experience of rejection, right? That maybe my cells are holding, or the water is holding. So remember, I'm by a river. So already the earth is showing herself. So here I am going to release that energy. So when you're feeling your remedy, where you are receiving it from, allowing the alchemy of that to be experienced. And I can see that for me, it's kind of, allowing myself to hear the vibration of acceptance. So once I receive that remedy, and allow that to move through me, the next piece is, what does that bring to my space, right? My space of friendship, right? Connection, relations. What does that bring? And I just feel this energy of joy, right? And allowing yourself to just have a moment. And just really honoring the receiving and the sharing, right? So from this space, what would you give this space that you're working in? What would you offer? For me, it's just offering, surrendering to it. Right? That is my offer, is to surrender. And then feel how this space, the whole circle now, so now we're going to move out from that individual space to the whole circle space, right? The wholeness of your life, the space of your life. And when you offer, so for me, I'm offering surrender. What is what happens to your space? Like, what is the results of you offering? So for me, I feel just harmonized. I'm harmonized in my space. I'm in my space, in the center of it. And then just take a moment and really feel what else the wholeness of your space is offering you. What other perceptions, whatever other ideas, what other ahas, realizations that are kind of happening. So let's just kind of recap for today. This is kind of a very multi-layered offering today. They do seem to start in the beginning, get a little bit more complex, and then kind of end themselves. I've noticed the 1, 2, 3 in the offerings each week. Let's just have a moment and say that we're honoring the space of our life. And we're taking a bird's eye view, and we're feeling what space is calling our attention, calling us to it. And that we settle into that space and get to know it, right? Get to know what it's offering. What is this space, right? So for me, I'm working with desire and relations. And then we're going to have a moment and have an interaction with that space. What is emerging? What's happening? What is the need? Is something being ignited, wanting to be ignited? Is there a rebalancing, a reharmonizing of that space? Is there a rebirthing of that space? And when you identify that, just listening to what it's offering you, and how can you receive that, right? And where do you receive that? And in the receiving of that, what is the alchemy? Within the alchemy of that, to keep the beautiful cycle of giving and receiving, what do you offer the space of your life? Or specifically that piece. I'm going to kind of let you move organically in that. And then what is the result of the receiving? When the space of your life receives what you offer, how does it respond? Now we have some new information, right? So for me, there's definitely a journaling entry that's going to happen. And it's definitely a process for me. So I can tell for me, this is a continuation of working with this area in my life. For some of you, it might feel like a completion. For some of you, it might feel like a beginning, right? So we have these 3 stages all the time: begin, the middle, complete. Begin, the middle, complete. So for me, it's like just beginning something that I've been aware of this spring, and so it's giving me more information to work with. All right, you guys. These are wonderful things to do visuals on for those of you that love to do art journaling, to write around. It's another way to kind of express and get it out into paper, make it real for you. And like for me yesterday, I acted on it. I cleaned my whole house. So tomorrow we'll be wrapping up working with our space, and we'll kind of be looking at another aspect of space. I'm really not quite sure what we're going to do, so I can't really lead you there yet. It might be a drawing. It might be working with space in between things. That's what it looks like. We're going to be taking care of spaces in between things. All right, you guys, many, many blessings, and enjoy this visualization kind of meditative experience. It's like just follow the story and fill in your pieces of it. And I will see you tomorrow.